Hey there, over the past year and a half, I've been struggling with diabetes, and I decided to take control of this sickness and of my own life. And so over the past year and a half, I've been studying a lot of different stuff. I've been researching out online. And I wanted to share with people some of the stuff that I found, because a lot of the stuff that I found is about nutrition and how to eat right, and that diet is a lot more than just about losing weight. It's about being healthy, really being healthy, and helping your body function the way that it should be functioning. And so I just want to share, my own experience and share some of the stuff that I found. And that's the point of this YouTube channel and also these videos that I'll be making. But I'm on this Harvard School of Public Health website right now, and I'm looking at this article, and I would ask anybody to look this up and please read it. It's really good. Simple steps to preventing diabetes, and you can just type that into Google. But let me scroll down. I'm going to go down to type 2 diabetes because that's where most of us are at. And it says, what is type 2 diabetes? It's so confusing. Most people don't even know what type 2 diabetes is. So I'm just going to read some of this. It says, our cells depend on a single simple sugar called glucose for most of our energy. That's why the body has intricate mechanisms in place to make such glucose levels in the bloodstream don't go too low or soar too high. When you eat, most digestible carbohydrates are converted into glucose and rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream. But the problem is, and let me scroll down here a little bit more, okay? It talks about type 1 diabetes, and that's roughly 5 to 10% of the population. That's where your body doesn't make enough insulin. But type 2 diabetes is down here. The other form of And it's right here. The other form of diabetes tends to creep up on people, taking years to develop into full-blown diabetes. It begins when muscle and other cells stop responding to insulins, open up for glucose signal. So insulin signals our cells, open up for us, and so we can send you some glucose. So what happens after we flooded our bodies with it? The body begins to respond by making more and more insulin. The more and more glucose we send, the more and more insulin our body's making, essentially trying to ram blood sugar into the cells. Eventually, the insulin-making cells get exhausted and begin to fail. This is type 2 diabetes. So that's what they call insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. And it's just becoming an epidemic in our country. But it's because of all the sugar that we're forcing into our bodies, the glucose and stuff like that. But as you read this, it talks about diabetes and some of the stuff that you can do, and all of that. And it talks about tuning up your diet. Okay, right here, tuning up your diet. 4 dietary changes can have a big impact on the risk of type 2 diabetes. It talks about eating whole grains and all that, and not high processed carbohydrates. So this is what I wanted to talk about. Of course, it says get the sugars out and eat good fats and da-da-da-da-da. But I want to go back to the carbohydrate thing because this is so important. We're hear a lot about carbohydrates, get your carbohydrates down, la-da-da-da-da. Well, the thing is, not all the carbohydrates are the same. Just like it says right here, choose whole grains or whole grain products over highly processed carbohydrates. The reason they want you to have the grains is because of the fiber. Because a high fiber diet blocks the sugar that we take into our body from being absorbed by the body. So having a high fiber diet, and it doesn't necessarily have to be grains. They're saying grains because grains are usually a high fiber, are full of high fiber. There's other ways to get it. But anyway, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to type in, because I'm trying to show the difference between good carbs and bad carbs. That's what I'm going to call it. A banana. And then I'm going to type in nutrition. And I'm going to click on this website right here. It's called nationadata.self or Self Nutrition Data. I love this website because I can type in any kind of food that I'm trying to find out information about. And what they do is they break down all the vitamins and minerals and nutrients and carbs and fats and everything right here of whatever it is I'm trying to find information out about. But I want to go down here, and I'm just going to choose small banana. And it's got a glycemic load of 8. And glycemic load, we're supposed to have less than, if you're diabetic, you're supposed to have 100 or less per day. And it's got a load of an 8. And here's why it has a load of an 8. If you come down here where it says carbohydrates, total carbs are 23.1. And it only has dietary fiber of 2.6. Remember, the amount of fiber, the higher the fiber, the more of that sugar and starch and everything gets blocked from going into our system because we don't need all that stuff. But look at this. Starch is 5.4 grams. Sugar is 12.4 grams. So out of that 23.1 grams of total carbohydrates, most of it's sugar and starch. And it only has, for dietary fiber to actually block all that sugar and starch, it's only got 2.6. So as far as a good carbohydrate, this would not be a good carbohydrate if you trying to fight blood sugar. And the reason being is because it's almost all it's got huge amounts of sugar in it. That's why when I eat bananas, and the doctors have told us, have told me, stay if you have diabetic or pre-diabetic, stay away from bananas because of the sugar level, because 10 or 15 minutes after you eat that blood glucose number is going to go up because that sugar just got dumped into your system because there was hardly any fiber at all to block it from going. And it's just a straight, here we go, right to the blood. And the thing I also want to point out, though, about bananas is it's got potassium, 362 milligrams of potassium. The doctors say we're supposed to have 4,700 milligrams of potassium. Well, 4,700 milligrams of potassium, 362 is a good hefty number going toward that. But there's other ways to get that potassium other than eating a lot of sugar like is in this banana. And so, but anyway, the good thing about potassium is it lowers blood pressure, and that's why we need to get our potassium levels up too. It's not great to take supplements that can stop your heart, but we should get 4,700 milligrams a day through our food and what we're eating. And so that's bananas. Now let me go over here and show you another way to get carbohydrates by making better choices, because this is all diet is about nutrition. It's about losing weight too, but it's also about nutrition. So here's kale, and I do about 3 cups of this a day in a smoothie. And this is 1 cup. See how much lower than a banana the glycemic load is? The glycemic load is based off of the fiber and the sugars and stuff under here and the carbohydrates. So let me go down here again to carbohydrates. Total carbohydrates is 6.1. Dietary fiber is 1.3. So this is a good carbohydrate. And the reason it's good, no starch, no sugar. So when your doctor tells you to get your carbohydrates down, this is a great way to get your carbohydrates down and to get those sugars and starches out. So if I eat 3 cups of this a day, then I've got about 19 carbs. Well, you got to take out the dietary minus the dietary fiber. But I got about probably 17 good carbs in my diet, and healthy carbs. The thing too about kale, problem with the eyesight, goes hand in hand with diabetes, but vitamin A right here. Look how much vitamin A it has. It has more vitamin A than any other vegetable that's out there. So I would multiply this number right here by 3, and that's how much vitamin A I'm getting just from the kale in my kale shake. But the other thing I want to show you too, this is such a good way to get good carbs. Potassium. It's got 299 milligrams of potassium in this 1 cup of kale. So I would multiply that times 3. That's about 870 something milligrams of potassium. That's a good hunk of potassium going toward my total of 4,700 milligrams a day. This is just a much better way to get my carbs, is in kale. Anyway, I hope that this helps you guys understand a little bit about the good carbs and the bad carbs and about the sugars. It's not just about reducing carbs. I mean, a lot of the diets say get your carbs down below 75. Get your carbs down to below 100. Get your carbs below 50. I don't know what you diet on or what your doctor's telling you. But if you want to do right by your body and you want to get that blood glucose number down, not only do you need to get your carbs down, but you need to get the sugars that are in the carbs down. And you can come to this website, again, Self Nutrition Data, and you can get here simply by going to Google and typing in, and this time I'll type in apples, Apple Nutrition, and I can go right here, Nutrition Data Self, and it now brought up the apples for me. But anyway, hope this helps you understand a little bit more about nutrition and all that. I know that it's helped me. I hope that maybe it'll help somebody out there to understand, so that that we can feed our bodies what it takes in order for them to be healthy. Anyway, take care. Have a wonderful day.